Hello everybody. I haven't been on here in a while, and I thought I'd get on here and tell you why. I know I don't have a lot of subscribers, but this is something my daughter talked me into doing a couple years ago, and she told me I should, and then I guess it was about a little over a year ago, I decided to start my YouTube channel. Well, I started putting out some videos, quite a few of them, and well, I started having issues with my joints and things like that, and I went to the doctor, and it was like I'd stepped down wrong, and my ankles or feet would just swell up and carry on, and well, they tested me for gout. My uric acid was borderline to have gout. So they put me on a gout medicine. It didn't work, I was still having issues, and I quit taking the medicine. And then I guess it was about the beginning of the 2022 hunting season. I started bleeding internally pretty bad. I mentioned it to my wife a couple times, and I really didn't think nothing of it. I didn't realize the seriousness in it, I'll put it that way. But anyway, it wasn't bad at that point. It was just here and there. It was passing a little blood. Then over Christmas, I started eating a lot of cookies and sugar and stuff like that. Well, then it got really bad, and I do blame it on eating a lot of sugar, because that just irritated it. You could just tell, and it wasn't that bad before, put it that way, until I started eating a lot of these cookies that's laying around. I ate, if they weren't tied down, I was eating them. So, and I don't think my wife ever tied one down. So, anyway, well, I started having issues with like bread and things after that, where just when I eat them, it didn't feel good. Kind of bloated or whatever. Then if I would eat meat, my stomach would, it just didn't sit well with me, and I really laid off bread and meat and things like that. Well, I love a good steak, and my wife and it was a nice day out, and we threw some steaks on the grill for the kids and us. And I ate the steak, and then the next morning I was in misery. Just felt bad, stomach cramps, all kinds of stuff like that. Well, anyway, I went back to. Well, I guess it wasn't that long after that. I had to go get my wife, because I started really passing a lot of blood, and so I went to the doctor, and he didn't really do anything. He just set me up to see a specialist, and I went over there. He was helpful and everything, don't get me wrong, but he sent me over there to the specialist to get checked out. And when I went over there, I told her about the steak and how it made me feel, and she said, "Do you spend a lot of time out indoors?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm always outside. I'm hunting, fishing, used to hike all the time until my joints started hurting." Anyway, so she sent me for the alpha-gal, which is the Lone Star tick bite, the test. And he came back positive. They took blood and everything, come back positive. Well, she also set me up for a CT scan and a colonoscopy and whatever the upper one is. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But, that's where they send the scope in through both ends, I guess you could say. So, anyway, she told me that, I could start introducing gluten back to my diet after we found out that it was alpha-gal. So, I don't know if it was the pancake, but I was working out in the garden. It was on a Friday. The next day I had a little bitty tick on the inside of my leg. Well, I ate a pancake on Saturday, and I had a reaction where I felt bloated with it and all that stuff too. And that evening I'm getting lightheaded and whatnot. And the next day, it was almost like how I felt when I ate the steak. It was just cramps, awful cramps. It was awful. Well, it hurt so bad that I was shaking and my vision started getting messed up and my blood pressure went up through the roof. So I went to the ER and I forget what it was like. It was way up there. I know it was something like 190 over like 117. That was my blood pressure when it's usually right about 119 over 64 or something like that, 60, whatever. My blood pressure is usually pretty good. Well, they took me straight back when I got to the ER. They did a CT scan of my head, and they also did one of my abdomen. And they thought it was constipation, what they saw. Well, I ended up going for my colonoscopy. So in our heads, that's all it was. Just constipation, I know I'm getting into detail, and a lot of people wouldn't share this stuff, but you know what? Y'all probably need to hear this, because don't be putting things off. If you're having issues, you need to get to the doctor, especially with the alpha-gal and things like that. You really need to make sure that your family's protected from that, because it is awful. When I say awful, I wouldn't wish it on nobody. It is awful. I started using permethrin after my last one, that last tick bite I had, and I think that's the one that gave me the alpha-gal. It had bored into my side, and anyway, I'm getting off subject here, but just make sure that protect yourself as far as when you're going to be outside, because those ticks are nothing to play with. So anyway, that's the mindset we had as far as the CT scan, that it was just constipation and I was going to be all right. Well, we went for the colonoscopy on the 16th of June, and we went in this room, had a curtain on it, and the nurse said, well, this is going to be where we bring you back to recover and things like that. And we went back to I don't know if it's like the OR or whatever it is, wherever they do it, and they went back there. The doctor talked to me a little bit and told me what he's going to be doing, and I looked at him. I said, whatever it is right here on my left side, and I pointed it out and everything. Anyway, I went back, and while I was under anesthesia, they went and got my wife and moved her to a private room instead of the room I was supposed to be recovering in. So she thought, this isn't right, she's a nurse, and she's like, this is, something's wrong. So I end up waking up, and I'm in that room, and the nurse is there, and I look over and I see my wife and everything, and my wife said, well, you were sleeping good when you got in here. I was like, yeah, and y'all had to wake me up, just anyway. So the doctor came in. It wasn't but a couple minutes after I woke up, and he told me, he said, everything as far as, your upper whatever it was, down the throat, looked great. Said everything looked good, but we found something. And he said, we found a tumor that's probably about 4 centimeters in diameter. Well, with that CT scan that I had, we really didn't think it was anything, and it also did show a little spot on my liver, but they think, and they still think, that that's just blood vessels. So they're still going to investigate it and stuff like that. But the doctor told me, he said, what we found is cancer, and the tumor's about 4 centimeters in diameter. And he said, I'm sorry, that I had to tell you all this and whatnot. I said, yeah, it's okay. Meanwhile, my wife is beside me, and she's just breaking down, and it really doesn't bother me, but it does bother me that, my wife's taking it so hard. Anyway, I told the doctor, I said, I believe in Jesus Christ, and, everything I'm going to put in his hands, so I know I'm in good hands. And he told me, he said, right now, the best thing to have is your faith. So, anyway, I went to go see the surgeon over in Martha Jefferson Hospital in Charlottesville, and he is going to send me for some other tests. And according to the CT scan, there's inflammation there, or what looks to be like inflammation, and it goes down towards my pelvic area. So he wants me to have an MRI done to see if he's going to be able to do surgery. And if not, and that is actually part of the cancer, then I'm probably going to have to do chemoradiation, and that's not something I want to do. And apparently it's going to be one of those, they're going to hit it hard type deal to try to shrink it. Also, depending on where it's located, I guess, from your colon area, down towards your rectum, your blood goes back into the liver, and it's, goes through that cleaning process, and then it goes back to your lungs. So he wants to have another CT scan, or a CT scan of my lungs, to make sure that it hasn't gotten in my lungs. I mean, all this is precautionary, and it's like the worst case scenario. So, I'm not really worried about it. But I do want y'all to be aware. Main reason for this video is I want you to be aware of the ticks. I think that this cancer is, more than treatable, and if not, it is what it is. I'm not going to let it get me down, and I'm going to continue living my life, and all that good stuff. Either way, I'm going to live my life. Whether we get rid of this cancer or we don't, I'm going to live, and enjoy the time God gives me. You know what I mean? So if y'all would just keep me in your prayers, and I'll probably do another video, but and let you know what's going on. But if it's worst case scenario, I'm probably I probably won't get back on here. I'll probably spend the majority of time with my family and stuff. So anyway, like I said, I enjoy doing this as far as getting on here and doing videos of the outdoors, and I would really like you to say a prayer for my wife and my kids and things like that, and just ask God to give them strength. And you can pray for me as well, but I'm pretty strong at where I'm at right now as far as my relationship with God, and I put it in His hands, and I'm going to let Him take care of it. So I don't know how many of y'all are out there believers, but I definitely appreciate every prayer that I can get and my family can get. So until next time, I hope y'all have a good one. Get outside and enjoy it, and enjoy your family as much as possible, because you never know when your health's going to go down, like mine. I still enjoy my family, but not like I want to. We spend a lot of time outside, and I tell you, I've spent more time on the couch than I really want to. So anyway, until next time, y'all shoot straight and enjoy life. Enjoy your family, friends, and make sure before you go outside, protect yourself from them ticks. Y'all have a good one.